Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Game Dev London podcast. My name is Adam, and you can refer to me as he, him. And today we've got a bit of a special episode. If you remember back at the beginning of the year, we did 2 one-hour Game Jam episodes where we tried to make a game in an hour, which was a bit of a wild time. We decided to push that a little bit further and do it in half an hour. Myself and Anna working with Katie and Jayden from Into Games as part of the fantastic Into Games Careers Day. We tried to make a game in 30 minutes. Now, big thanks to the Into Games team who have allowed us to showcase this kind of panel as one of our episodes. So that's enough for me. I'm going to pass this over now to the panel. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you at the end.
I would love to introduce to you my fellow panelists, because I'm not doing this alone, or my fellow session mates. I will first bring in Jayden from Into Games. How you doing, Jayden?
Hi. Hello.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, you're absolutely fine. How you doing?
I was like, I don't know if this is going to work or not.
No. You're fine. I think it's worth mentioning that me and you have made quite a few games together before.
Yeah.
I don't know if that stands us in any kind of good stead, but maybe it helps. I don't know.
I mean, we'll definitely find out. You know, we've made a lot, so hopefully some experience shines through.
Definitely. And we have the awesome people from Game Dev London. So first off, we got Anna Polyakova, who's a game designer at Playground Games. Hey, Anna.
Hello. Well, not any longer at Playground Games, but I am a game designer. So hopefully can design a game in 10 minutes. It's my job.
Awesome. How are you feeling about doing this today?
Well, I haven't done a game jam in over 3 years, so a little bit in the deep end straight away, but we'll see how it's going to go.
Awesome. Well, we just had that amazing session from Creative Assembly, which was how to make a game by yourself at home. So hopefully we can use some of those tips to kind of influence this next 30 minutes. And I just want to say as well, like everybody in chat, like please speak up. We'd love to hear what you think throughout this 30 minutes. Maybe you can help us if we get stuck. Maybe you can lead us in the right direction. So we would love to see what you think. So please do speak up. And lastly, for this session, we have Adam Boyne, who's co-founder of Beta Jester. Hey, Adam.
Hey, how are we doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Me and Adam and Oscar from Game Dev London as well, we did a game jam in an hour, which was stressful enough, I think. Not sure where we're putting ourselves through this one, but that was in collaboration with the Nice Games Club podcast, which you guys should really go check out. We'll find the link for that in a second and pop it in. But yeah, this isn't anxiety inducing at all. I think this half an hour session is going to be great. Adam and Anna, could you very quickly tell us a little bit about Game Dev London and what it is that you guys do?
Yeah, so very quickly just to introduce Game Dev London. Hopefully you caught our episodes where we worked with Into Games before and did game jams in an hour. If not, 100% go check that out. So Game Dev London is a community of game developers based not just in London, sort of all over the UK and beyond. We've got people up in Scotland and Ireland, but also over in Argentina, Germany, Brazil, all over the world. And we basically come together to create a podcast. So there's 10 hosts, which me and Anna are 2 of those 10 hosts, talking about everything in games, ranging from art to people who skate in games to production to programming and everything in between. We've got a community of about 2,000 people who hang out and chat and showcase their work and help each other make games. And yeah, we also run events, games industry events like Develop and EGX, but also every month we run a lunch meetup in our Discord, so you can hang out with people and eat lunch and then chat about games and everything you're up to as well.
Nice. I love that. Thank you so much. You guys have an insane community as well, so I really recommend that people get involved in your Discord and follow your Twitter and stuff like that. It's an amazing tight ship that you guys run. So great job.
Yeah, if you want to find out more, you can go to gamedev.london and get everything from there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I think that we should start. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is a collaborative effort here, but maybe we should start with 10 minutes of planning, and maybe we can start the game jam at 2:15 and then do sort of 15 minutes of debrief and answering audience questions before that. But I would love to sort of have a feel from you guys' perspective. How do you think that we should start out? I've got a little pre-planned document here that maybe we can put some ideas in, and I've put some ideas in before, which I'll pop up on the screen. But maybe I would love to kind of have an idea of how you think that this should be run.
Yeah. yeah, from my side, we did the hour game jam. We learned a lot from that in terms of how quickly we need to move, and how kind of like through ideas. And now we're going to have half time, which is even nicer. But yeah, I think if we have a quick chat now, sort of how we're going to approach it. So when we hit course, we'll know exactly what we're doing, and I assume you're going to tell people a little bit more about that in a minute, Katie. So I won't spoil it. And we will have half an hour to make a game, try and play it, see if we can do that in the time frame. It's going to be very, very tight. And at the end of it, talk about the process, what we went through, and how it came up. Splitting it up, I think if we can try and get to a game in 10-15 minutes, I think that's the best thing we can hope for. I think it's just gonna have to be thick and fast, and basically just agreeing with each other constantly and just accept, like, yep, that sounds like an idea, let's go with that.
It works.
I know, what do you think?
We're not going to throw hands.
Yeah, I know, I'm going to fight you all, it'll be great. How do you think that we should approach this, Anna? Have you got any expertise that you can share?
No, I was just saying that, like, agreeing on every single idea, that's in my experience never happened in game dev ever, but we only have 10 minutes, so we kind of have to make do with it.
Yeah. Fair enough. So the things that I've got on this little document, we don't know our theme yet, so we can't do too much planning. But I kind of had like a rough 5 minutes of ideation, and once we have something that sounds good, we'll just go for it. We should maybe define how people win or lose if it is that kind of game. Figure out what the rules are. Hopefully play and maybe iterate once if we have the time. And maybe rewrite the rules if there's time as well, depending on what we came up with. But I don't know if that sounds good to you guys. I don't know what we're going to have time for. This is crazy.
I think it's exactly that. I think if we define the points at which, I think if we have that, what's the starting point? What's set up, what's in place, etc. As little as possible, preferably, but we'll see. What the end state is. How do we define somebody has won or lost or whatever that might be, and then just that kind of process from one step to the other. We probably won't have time to go through lots of state. If you think about board games, sometimes they have different stages or lots of different options you can do. I think it's going to have to be very, you probably either versus each other or versus the clock, something that's just ticking down very quickly, and there's just something you can do to kind of battle, to get to a winning point as quickly as possible, and just obviously it will come through and we're iterating, but it's definitely that if we get that end point in particular, I think that's going to be the absolute key, just defining how does somebody win, how does somebody lose.
Definitely.
I think as long as we have a very basic game loop and then the win-lose positions, that's basically the game.
Yeah, of course. I think I'll be happy if we just figure out, a little loop or a little starter idea. That'd be great. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than rock, paper, scissors or snap or something like that. It could be something of that ilk. Jayden, is there anything that we've maybe missed off of that list that you think? Or?
I was then thinking the only thing going through my brain was don't make Monopoly.
Sure, yeah. Or Elden Ring.
Yeah. I mean, we can try and do a board game Elden Ring if people want to, but something tells me that won't work out in our favor. So,
especially with 10 minutes to plan it out.
Yeah.
Nice. If we can make Elden Ring in half an hour, I think we all have different jobs that we need to go be doing.
Absolutely.
And we need to be paid a lot more.
It's definitely a portfolio piece.
We'll avoid that one.
Amazing, cool. So I've on this window, if I can find it, I've got a bunch of tools that we can use, but this depends, exactly what our theme is and exactly sort of what avenue we go down. But we've got a Miro board that we can use. Are you guys just in there? I think I can see a couple of people around. We've got Miro that we can use for just rapid post-it putting on, drawing on post-its, drawing little arrows to different places. We've got a deck of cards, which I will send the link to you guys here. And me and Jayden are in that. And then I've also popped up twine, just in case that is a thing that we need. But I don't know if you guys can think of any more tools. This is going to be a rapid, we might not even need any of this stuff. Obviously, I've got a pen and paper in front of me as well. But I think we should be all good to get set with any of that.
There's two other tools that I can think of. I mean, so behind me in this room, I do have access to dice and meeples and that kind of thing.
Perfect.
But for the sake of speed, I've got there's rollerdie.net, which I've just put on the tools page on your thing. Or the Google Dice Roller, also fine. And then flip a coin is another one as well. Flippercoin.fund another.
That's
Again,
perfect.
Other good dice and flip a coin websites are available.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much. Yes, we'll have those. Can you do a D2? Oh, you can't do a D2 on Google Dice Roller, so I will do flip a coin. Perfect. So I'll just get those up so that everybody can see what we're doing. Oh, Google has a flip a coin. That's great. Perfect. Okay, cool. That was sort of all I had for initial planning. So anybody else have anything else that they want to prep for the next couple of minutes, or we can just jump into it?
Should we jump?
We can jump, can we?
I think
jump.
we should just do it.
All right.
I've got returning. It's a little bit shaky at the minute in terms of if it actually makes the alarm noise, but I have returning our visual timer from last time, which I will set to 30 minutes. It should be absolutely fine. It has been a little inconsistent the last two times, so we'll see. It should be fine.
Perfect. Awesome. I was going to ask. It was on my list of notes. I have a cool clock. There you go. Awesome. Okay. Well, let's jump in. As soon as we've got the theme, we'll press start on that clock. I do just want to say that the themes that we've gathered here today, they are on this wheel of names, the spinning wheel of wheels. And they've been sent in by members of our community. So we've got a couple, we had a great list of suggestions, but I whittled them down into things that we thought, this is a really good pointer for something to make in half an hour. So we'll click spin on that. God, why am I so nervous about it? It's amazing. And see what we get. And I also have who added this entry as well, so we can shout them out in our chat. But let's go for it. I'll announce the theme and who it was by, and then we'll click play. Okay, you guys ready? Wheel of spins.
Spinning wheel.
What we got? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wanted to do this.
Come
Fantastic.
Petting Zoo, which was submitted by on Twitter at Taylor_M. So well done.
Nice one.
We have Petting Zoo, and we'll click the timer
Ready?
now. Yeah, let's go.
And 30. We're off.
Amazing.
Okay.
Petting Zoo.
Competitive game where you have to pet the most animals in the petting zoo.
It was in
That is
brain
exactly what
already.
I was going to suggest. So that's done. Perfect.
Anna, what do you think? Is that what your mind immediately came up with as well?
Well, to be honest, my mind immediately came up with you have to return all the pets that escaped from their cages into the their things, so people can pet them, because that was my experience with Petting Zoo in real life. But Petting Zoo animals also sounds fun.
Love it.
Also, what driver of those? Pet the most, return the animals. We can have to chat about that very quickly. I think probably in the time frame in terms of just returning them, we probably have to figure out how to go and find them. Whereas pet the most is a bit more like Boolean,
Sure.
like did you pet or did you not pet? So it's probably slightly easier at this point to go with pet the most. I like the idea of return the most, but I think just from a speed perspective, just the state of was or was not pet is probably the quickest.
I like that.
Perhaps fitting in with the theme of time, it's like to get a quick game in there, it's like you have different animals and you have to like roll it between us, like roll a certain number on the dice to be able to pet the animal, or something like that.
See if you like hit it successfully.
Yeah, it's like a really fast-paced game where you both have like a dice each, and you're just like frantically rolling these dice, trying to collect all these animals while racing against the other person. You have like 30 seconds or something.
I quite like that. It's a bit real time as well.
Yeah.
I like that. I was also thinking something about like happiness meters of animals being pet. I don't know. That's more of like a video game thing, I think.
Yeah, you go write that in 30 minutes.
Sure.
We'll watch.
Roll dice definitely a possibility. The only thing about that is obviously it has potential to come down to kind of pure chance, which we can do, and in the time frame that we're in. But obviously, if we can get a little bit of either skill or tactics in there, that's always useful. I was thinking of something. The first idea I had was way too dexterity based, which would be like you lay out a bunch of cards, let's say 30 cards, and you turn them. You have to turn it. If it's face up, one of you's petted it. If it's face down, the other one's petted it, or something like that. So you're trying to turn over or turn back as many cards as possible in the time. Not sure that quite works in full, but there's definitely, I think it's the start of something in that.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think that's that's definitely something that can be iterated on. Oh, George has put on the screen, mythical creatures are worth more points but harder to pet. That's interesting. That's good. Like maybe like a next step kind of thing.
We could have like the win condition being like, so every time you pet an animal, that animal likes you. So you, at the end of the timer, you need to have the most animal liking you. But then, like, if the other person turns over the card, they like them now, and we could have like some kind of rules of like what cards you could turn on the board. You know how like the I don't know what's the name, but like with the crosses in a bit like black and white, where you had to like take over the entire board, kind of like the same system, but with pets and animals.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. Like a token, almost like a token system or like a card system. Yeah, you could either. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. It's like really nice and simple and like fun to play. I like that.
Is it Othello where you have the black and white counters, and if you have like a white counter either side of the black one, it flips it?
Oh yeah, I think it is.
That's
yeah,
the thing I was thinking. Yeah, like we could have like kind of similar rules. Like for instance, like everyone starts at like opposite sides of the board, and then you need to like make sure that all of your animals that like you are surrounded, so no like the opponent can't turn the cards.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, we've had lots of really cool ideas. I feel like maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm being too strict. Do we need to knuckle down on?
No, we do. 100%.
Yeah, okay, cool.
We need to have finished already. Really. We're done. But yeah.
I like the turning over of things. That's a cool mechanic, I think.
Yeah, definitely like turning over things. I think we're definitely thinking cards as the basis of a tool. Exactly how it's going to manifest will come out. I'm just putting some cards out, so we've got something. Oh, it's shuffle the deck. Damn it. There we go.
No worries. Yeah, we've got lots of things in different tabs. I'm going to safely close Twine so that I don't get myself confused.
Yeah. That was a sort of stretch goal.
Yeah, the narrative for Petting Zoo. Okay, cool. So
the worst shuffled deck I've ever seen. Let's try that again.
I'm flip-flopping between everything.
Can we safely say this will just be like a 2-player game?
I think so.
I think 2 players fine. I think that keeps it within a reasonable amount.
Yeah. I quite like the symmetry of 2 players as well. If you're making comparisons for like Othello and stuff like that, I think that's nice.
I mean, I don't see why it couldn't be like more players. Like as long as you have enough cards, I feel like it would work with any amount as like reasonable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So apparently the card game is broken because I'm only ever getting the same cards back out. So
oh no,
that may not be great. Okay, let me. Hang on.
What if you add can you add a new deck?
Yeah, I might be able to.
And the same thing happened.
Oh no!
No.
Okay. I'll see if I can fix that. But while I'm trying to fix that, so I think we go with this the kind of flipping idea. So it's the idea that we play cards to try it's sort of a fellow style to try and lock them in, and then or are we trying to surround, or you say something about surrounding potentially?
It's
so like we could have a rule where it's like if a card is surrounded by all other of your cards, it's safe, so you only can like flip the one that is like, so like if, let's say like black and white token or something. So like if you have a white token in the middle of white tokens, no one can turn it unless like one of the other tokens, like you can only turn a card if the card next to it is also turned, kind of. Am I making any sense?
I think so.
Yeah, I think
it kind of like locks it in.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Okay, cool. And then at the end, if we think about a win condition, it is definitely the person with the most flipped over cards or petted animals, I guess, is the winner, right? I like that. I like that. I think it's a cool mechanic, and I think that's definitely something that we can iterate on. Let me pop it in this document. So the win condition is the person with the most animals. Twitch chat is going to witness me not being able to spell now.
Adam, since you're working on the cards right now, I think, right?
I've just got it open, but yeah.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know if we wanted to have a couple people have their screens shared, so George can then like flick between multiple people's screens if someone's on a document and then someone else is working on the game.
Yeah, you can. If you want to,
yeah.
if he joins the link, then he'll be able to see it. That's fine.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah, this is a new link. Okay, I really like this. What a great theme as well. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Okay, so if so one of the things that especially we learned from Nice Games Clubs is that they try and once they got to a certain point, they try and like play through. The first playthrough is them figuring out the rules as they kind of go. I think if we start there now, we've got our end state, which is having the most flip cards of your color, basically.
Yeah, definitely.
Represents you having one. So we've got a few cards out here, different colors. I'll get a couple more for us. Can you, Anna, Katie, in terms of, because I'm trying to get my head around the idea, can you kind of demonstrate with these cards kind of what you're thinking?
Well, it depends. Like, how are we going by color, or are we going by if it's flipped or not flipped?
So my understanding was that a flipped card could be yours or theirs. So I guess it depends if we want the numbers to matter or not.
Yeah, I guess the numbers and colors don't have to matter if they're just flipped and unflipped, right? Or have I got this wrong? Oh no. Who had this idea to make a game?
So we could have a thing where like each player has a deck of their colors and we both are making a board. So like, for example, it can only be like 6 by 6 or whatever.
So have a
so like, if I'm starting, I'll put my card. I need to give it. In my head, it was way simpler than this.
No.
That's okay, go.
I like the concept.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I can't remember how I moved the deck last time. I'm trying to remember all the keys that I pressed.
Is it a shift click? No, it's not. Oh, I thought it was like something fun and a click.
That's what I was trying to remember as well. There's no way. I don't know.
I can't group them.
Source code.
Source code.
Somebody tell me.
We can just move them up a little bit.
Oh, you got it?
No, I was just thinking about just moving.
No. I thought Anna said okay. I think she's got an idea.
I think I got it. So okay, so the players have their own deck of cards, and like, let's say the color doesn't matter. And so like, I'm playing the flipped cards are my card, and you're playing, Katie, you're playing like the face down card is your card. So like, for instance, I'll start. So like, imagine there is nothing on there. I can't move them. But like, I'll start, and I'm putting my card down. And then you'll put your card like, but face down, like either next to me or like, let's imagine like we're playing by a grid. And there is like a grid where you could put. So now you place your card next to mine, so I can turn it, and it will become my card.
Ah, I see.
But then, like, if you started from the opposite side, I can't get to you yet, kind of thing.
I think I get it. So I would move it. This is your card, right? This 10. So I would move it this side if I didn't want you to flip it over. No, if I moved it this side, then you would be free to flip it over, right?
So like, imagine like we have like a grid that this is missing. So I put it like in this corner, and you'd put your cards. I can't remove the cards. I don't know how to use this tool.
That's okay. Then you want
to be like a drag, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So, and you are putting this one here. So like, I don't have anything. Imagine this one, not there. They flipped over. I don't have anything on the like next to my card. So I'd like. Oh my god, why is it? Sorry.
We could shuffle them again and see what happens, maybe.
But basically, like, I'd put my card next to yours, for instance, but like face up. And now in your turn, you're free to, like, I made a bad move. So on your turn, you're free to flip my card face down because it's right next to yours.
Okay. Yeah.
Now you have 2 points.
So why would you why would you play your card next to hers then?
Well, at the beginning you wouldn't, but then at some point you will get to the state where you can only place cards next to each other.
So it's a bit more. It's like squares then, almost in that sense.
I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that. I like that. Yes.
Feel free to disagree, and that's kind of like how maybe we could play it out.
No, I like it. I like.
Oh, time check.
Yeah, we've got just over 15 minutes left. Okay, so I think I like it. I think I've got, especially with the squares idea, I think I'd take it one step slightly further to turn it into the petting zoo. But the key thing with squares is obviously you're capturing kind of square. So what I think I would do with that is if we do it color-wise, so we say Katie is red and you were black, that gives us our, yes, thank you. That gives us our third set. So that's all right. I think we're both doing that. You take that one.
Yep.
So we'll leave the middle deck there for the time being. So if we go, I'm going to create a grid of 9. And the reason I'm going to do that is I'm going to say if these are our I can't click. There you go. If these are our animals, then we can place them sort of along. So your goal is to try and capture an animal by having it can either be all the cards around it be yours, or if we say if you have the if you have more cards around it, then it belongs to you. If you have less cards around it, it belongs to them. And then, because as you start, obviously you start to very tactically kind of go, well, I'll try and space things out over time. But we include that rule of them. If either we have it that if you're next to one, instead of placing one of yours, you can flip what you can. It would have to be replace one of theirs with one of yours, and sacrifice your turn. Or if you are able, or we can do the Othello thing, where if you manage to place yours in a row like that, you can then flip, well, not flip, but turn that one into one of yours, essentially. So you can take control that way.
Okay, I see.
I like that a lot. That's really cool. So if we were to try and play around with this, maybe like with Adam and Anna, you can play like Adam and me, or Adam and Jayden. I feel like
I'm gonna have to watch one before I get the hang of it.
I'm gonna have to watch it because I can't move cards for whatever reason.
Okay, no worries. Okay. Me and Adam will go.
We'll go. I think if we do, so we need. Hang on a second. I have to do counting. So be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 21, 28, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 32, 36, 40 cards. I think we're gonna have enough if we're quick. Okay. Can people help me deal out the deck except for the last card and leave that in the middle as unflipped?
Nice.
People keep yoinking my card.
I know. Ignore the. I can't click the Joker for some reason. So if somebody is able to click the Joker, please click the Joker away.
Where is he? I didn't see a Joker. I feel like this also does have like a more of a vibe of capturing escaped animals. It's like penning them in, isn't it?
I can't click that middle one either. I think we might have used the last card.
I'm gonna give Jayden the Joker.
Thanks, man.
That one. And that one. That one.
All of the cards have ended up.
That one. I've got just under 15 minutes.
Whose idea?
So while we're doing this, Anna and Jayden, what do you think in terms of the flipping rule? What do you think works the best?
I have a preference towards Othello rules, but
so just one either. If it's at either end, you're then allowed to flip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. So that's in which case I'll take the Joker.
No.
We'll use that. Let me just check. It's.
Is it cheeky?
For everybody at home, you have to imagine that these all have like amazing animal drawings on them.
Yeah, we'll ignore the ones in the middle. It may be slightly unfair, and the ones in the middle are coloured off, but let's just assume it's fine, and we'll see if it works. So, Othello rules, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What? Who just stole the Joker? Give us the Joker back. That's the middle animal.
I didn't steal that. That was put there by someone that was not me.
Don't steal from the petting zoo. That's how you get kicked out. Okay, so Who's playing? I forgot who's playing now.
It's me and you, Adam, but I
right.
need to. Maybe you should go first because I'm.
So I'm playing as Anna, but I'll be very open about what I'm doing. So I'm going to go here. Okay, so that's fine. So at the minute I'm in a good position. It's fine.
Okay. What if I went down here and was diagonals? Did diagonals count, or were you doing either side?
Yeah. So it's most around the animal. So
okay. Yeah.
So I think that would be. I think starting moves are basically going to be we take the diagonals straight off the bat.
Sure.
Yeah, that's really strong positioning.
Yeah.
You see, we've already got opening moves. We're calling this defense move.
Yeah, it's the castle strat.
Let's play it with testing. So I'm going to do something dumb, and I'm going to go there because now obviously I've just messed myself over, which means you could go.
Okay. Well, if I was intelligent enough to play this game like how I think it would be played. Wait, why would you have messed yourself over? Because you still.
If I did something silly there, and you put your red up here above my jack.
Above your jack, there.
Othello rules. So now you.
Yes. Right.
Place. I don't know whether two cards just disappeared, but we'll put them back. Now you've flipped all those, and now you're in a very strong position.
I understand.
Okay, so that's making sense. Okay, so it'd be my turn now, and I'm angry. I'm gonna go here, classic Othello move to take an edge piece because now you're in trouble.
I'm in jeopardy. I am in jeopardy. I would want to also place an edge piece. I feel like I would want to place there. Or am I silly?
But the moment I've done mine, is there anything you can do to save yours at that point?
Oh my goodness, is there?
So I think that's a good question. Well, I think that's a good game design question. Right now, I've done that. There's nothing stopping me from placing a card here because if you go there, I can now go at the bottom.
Yeah.
We want to bring in a rule for safety, something that you can do as a player.
I don't think it's an issue though, because like that's kind of part of the game. Like if you made like you could have taken all of the pieces like at the top so no one can block you while you're going inside. Like that's also an option.
Yeah, like it could work from the
part
outside
of the
in.
strategy.
It's part of the strategy. My only thing is that now that the moment you've got one that's not on the end but near it, now that I'm here, there's nothing that can be done to prevent it. I mean, let's try it. Let's try it and see.
Yeah.
So I've done that. You'll go.
You've done that. I would want to guard myself by saying that if I go at an edge tile, you can't also go there, but can you?
Well, I can't. Well, I won't be able to go there. So if you put yours there, what I would do then is go here.
Oh yeah.
which means I flip all of those.
Yeah.
Now you're not going to be able to flip all of those. You will be able to flip the middle ones, but maybe that's just how we do it.
So what you can do now is put two cards next to his ace and flip it into red. So you can flip all of the black ones into red as well.
Would you chain it like that?
I think so. I think that makes sense.
The only worry I'd have with that is that because then I would then end up doing the same thing and double chaining it back again. We'd end up with like huge chains folding backwards and forwards between two sides. We could try it. I'm up for trying it.
Go on. Okay. So I will try. It was my go, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I will try to place a card. Oh, it won't really let me. It'll let me go like there.
Put it in my deck. It's fine.
Is that all right? Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'll do that, which immediately cancels you from doing that.
If you place your card on the other side, he wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah. Shoot. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Well, that's okay.
Well,
we're still.
No, if you'd gone here, I'd have gone in this corner one, so I'd have been protected either way. But if you put it there,
and then go slowly into it.
And then because then that becomes dangerous for me to place a card there. Yeah, that's right. That's very true. That's a good balancing. That's your card anyway.
Okay. Do we
Let's keep going because we're working it through. I think so.
Okay, yeah. I am going to place a card over there. Let's do that.
I think chained impact is cool. Okay, so now you put that one there. This space is now dangerous for me, so I'm not going to touch it at any point. So I'm going to try and prepare by going into the other corner.
Of course, yeah. Guard yourself that way. Okay, interesting. Oh, I'm trying to get the
Then
boundaries up. Go on. Sorry, Anna.
No.
No.
Wrong move, I realize.
No. I need you to tell me because I feel like it's an important. You're seeing things that I can't see, so I think that's like an important message of the game, or important way to learn it at least.
No, I was gonna say like if you place it like in between the black cards, but then it instantly turns into a black card, so that doesn't work.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, like what if you put it between like the 8 and the 6 at the top row? Would
Sure.
that then?
Yeah. So I would say that if it's on that, you can only flip on your turn.
Your turn.
So I would say you doing that doesn't change anything. If it was if you did this, is that the one? Yeah, I think if you place it, your move can't make your cards change colors. That's how you get away with doing stuff like that and going, right, I'm putting myself there. Because that then, I try to be sneaky and defend myself by putting it here, but I've now caught myself out because of the fact that I'm now in a bit of trouble, which limits how much you can do that on, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to ever. Otherwise, that's the end of this, because you could now never flip that because you now can't.
Oh yeah.
So let's try that.
Okay.
In the 6 minutes we have remaining.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Let's give it another couple minutes. Write some rules in then.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and prepare in some other places. So I'll go there.
Yeah. Oh.
So if you place your card next to the ace, what happens? You turn.
That would turn all of those. That would turn all those and then all those. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's try that.
Here.
So yeah. So that would change all those three.
So I'll put this.
And we're doing chains as well, aren't we? So
yeah. So it also changes.
I think chains.
Chains are fun.
It's very satisfying to be like, oh, look what smart move. You thought I was losing, but I'm winning.
And that's interesting because of how it's played out, I now can't defend against. I can't flip that back because I'll never be able to flip back the jack, which means I can't get the top row. So now I'm caught in. The only thing I can do is try and save the cards in between and try and get myself back to a good place. So I'll do that.
There's another good opening strategy for you. Just go through the corners.
Yeah,
that's true.
Put yourself in a strong position and sacrifice the better places. That's another way of doing
it.
Yeah. Oh,
you go.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna go for. Am I gonna go for here? Yeah, I'm gonna go for here and turn this 2 into a.
That did not.
No.
There's a big gap there.
Oh yeah, of course there is. An idiot. Okay, no, I'm still gonna go there.
Cheated at your own game.
Yeah, but do you want to? Are you putting that one?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah. See what happens.
Is that? Oh yes, change. For some reason that's in a different place on mine. I don't know why. I can't see that 3.
Oh no worries.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's back.
Yeah.
So then, okay, so I need to be careful. So I'm going to put this one here. So I'm just going to keep with my preparation.
Another thing I've noticed, like, Katie, you're now running out of cards. So like,
no, there's a should be, yeah, that might be a thing. They're running out of cards.
Yeah, maybe it is.
We'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah, we've got like a couple of minutes.
We've got 4 minutes.
What?
I can't see what just happened. It's
because it
moved on mine.
Your move didn't show up for me.
I put a 3 down here.
Okay, cool. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna go here and just change this to. Oh, I'm in an awkward position with these 2 flanking.
Cool. All right.
I'll put that there.
Cool. So you just put which one did you just put? 8 there.
Yeah. I just changed your black 2 into a red 8.
How did you do that? Oh, I can't see the.
I put a queen here. Yeah, sandwiched it.
Sometimes the cards don't update for some reason. That's fine. Okay. So I will go there, and that has allowed me to switch all of those out because I've got the ones at either end.
Gosh darn it!
But that's very Othello-y that you just kind of like, haha, I got you. Oh damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. I like this. When does the game end? Is it when we run out of cards, or
when we
is it
filled all the
when we
spaces?
filled all of the slots? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So we need to. So it might be a bit long. So let's whip through real quick.
Yeah. Let's whip through. I just put an 8 up there.
Yep, I'm gonna put a 9 there.
Okay. I'm gonna do that. I don't know if I'm making the right decisions here.
And you would have changed like the 4 into. Oh no.
Yeah, I would have changed it, but Adam.
It would have done, but then I'd have. Oh no, you're right. If you did that, would have changed that, so I couldn't have done what I just did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You are 100%. Yeah. So that would have been like that. And then I would not have been in a position to do anything with those. So I would have to go like this.
Yeah. And I don't like that very much because I'm gonna I guess guard myself up here. Oh,
you've already got a card.
Oh, there's already one there on my screen.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't.
There you go.
I'm gonna go here. So is there one there? No.
Yeah, you're good. And then so I'll go there, and I will flip those 2.
Okay, cool. This is fun. It's just making me see things that I never would have seen before. I'm gonna go here.
Yep, and I'm gonna go there and
Got
protect myself from that.
I didn't realize that was also an edge bit. Okay, I'm gonna go here. How are we doing for time, Adam? Do we need to get some rules right now?
1.5. I think we're all right. We've got most of the rules. I'm gonna flip that one.
God damn.
We're nearly there. We're nearly about 10 spaces left.
Yeah, I'm in a losing position.
That's a good move. So I'm gonna go there.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do that. Is that a move that I can?
Yeah, that's a good move because I'm not gonna be able to get to that one, so that's very sensible. So I'll go there to defend my card.
If you go below your jack, you will turn one of his cards as well.
Oh, where can I?
Up there, up top.
Oh,
up
yes, yeah. Thank you.
So that's gonna turn that. No, that's sorry. It's gonna turn that one to yours.
And now also the chains 2, 4, and ace are gonna turn.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
And you run out of cards as well.
So then I'm not in a great place anymore, so I'm going to do that one. We've got about 30 seconds left, so let's place them and go.
Yep. I'm going to go. Is there anything up the top here?
Yeah, there is a card.
Yeah, there is.
You've put something there. 3 cards.
Oh, no. Okay.
I'll put it back. That one. That's good. That's where you put it. It's good. So I'll do this because that changes that one to that one.
And 6 as well.
Last turn left.
And the 6, yeah.
Oh.
Also changes that one. No, yeah, you're good. And then you place that one there. Okay, cool.
Okay. We fill the grid.
Oh, and that's time.
Nice.
That is okay. Now, obviously, scoring can take place after the fact.
Of course.
So let's see what happened there. So we've got Anna and Adam, and then we've got Katie, and we've got Jayden, and let me do some scoring. So we've got quite you. My timer wants me to know it's game. So I'm going to use my 5 just as a mouse pointer so you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all red. So that's 1. Mm-hmm. Then this is all red. So 2. So that's 4 and 4. So no one wins that one. So that's all red except for the black. That's fine. This one is mostly red. So that's another one. This one's mostly black. So that's one over here. This one is mostly black. So that's one over there. This one is mostly black. So that's one over here. And that one's mostly black, so it is. Hang on, 1, 2, 3. Hang on, I've got because of the draw, it's even for all.
Oh,
wow. Okay.
Nice one, guys. Oh my goodness. What was?
Yeah.
I mean, considering at points, I was like, oh, this feels really. I was like, is it unbalanced? Have you just flipped this whole row here, and now I'm stuffed and stuff, and then to come out of it with a draw that's great.
Yeah.
That worked really well.
I think a really good way to up the enjoyment would be to add a short time limit to the round. Make the rounds a minute long or 2 minutes long, so it's literally that fast paced slapping down cards and flipping cards.
Yeah, you don't really have time to think about the best movie. Kind of whatever I see, I'm gonna put the card there.
Yeah.
100%.
And it
Well, we were
also makes it a
playing-
bit more emergent because you can just leave the cards out if you want, or leave the timer out if you want. You know.
Yeah, definitely. I was getting vibes of like a naughty goat trying to escape the petting zoo, and somebody trying to pen him in, and then he's making moves to like.
I brought my idea of gathering the animals back.
Yes. And a one, you guys.
Wow.
That was sick. That was awesome, you guys. Thank you so much. And I can't believe we did it. I was like, I had no idea.
I'm pretty impressed.
Amazing,
So,
amazing.
yeah, I think we'd have to. There's a couple of times where we sort of figure that stuff out on the fly, and obviously we did some stuff to balance it out. We'd probably to take it further from here, we'd have to hit it against some rigorous testing just to check that we don't go. But if you just do this, then you win. But I mean, solid.
Yeah.
For half an hour as well. That's a thing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think, it's so important to just, it goes to show that, you can get in there and take a stab at making something like your first game or any kind of game. If you just set aside half an hour and just really rapidly sort of iterate on that, then, you can draw it. It's completely okay to draw upon existing things like Othello and anything else that we use there. But, if you can just set aside half an hour and try and prototype something, it's really worth it. I think it is really fun as well.
Yeah, I mean, when we went to university, me and Katie, we got taught like mechanic. You can't trademark mechanics, like you take inspiration where you can and build on them.
100%.
You could argue that this is Othello, but we've taken out diagonals and we've added a point system in.
The classic thing is that you take things that and build on them and do something new and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at some of the best games over the last few years, a lot of them will take inspiration from something that already exists and build on that and do something weird or cool or not seen before. And that's what we did here. I mean, it uses the Othello base, but the whole 9-card block system and the chaining meant that we were in a situation where sometimes we both thought that we'd done something really cool or clever, and then Anna would go, "Yeah, but put that card there," and then it was like, down. And it takes from Othello, but it's a totally new way of thinking about it, and the tactics and all that aspects that drill into it make it a new and interesting game.
Yeah, and like any game is just a unique combination of mechanics that were already there, so it's how you use them rather than coming up with something completely new.
I've never played Othello before, and that was fun and easy to understand for somebody who's never played it. So or who has no idea what the mechanics of Othello are. That really works for me.
That's basically what we've just played.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've definitely played Othello. I just had like a couple of quick debrief sort of questions for us to think about, and then maybe if we've got time, we can take some questions from our chat on Twitch. But I just think if we had more time, what do you guys think, like very quickly, our next steps should be if we were, game designers we are game designers, but if we were to iterate on this further, what do you think our next steps should be straight after this? Say if we had an hour or 2 hours, where would we go, do you think?
Do you want to go?
I would say identify like the meta strategies, like the strategies that if you play the card this way, you will always win, and try to figure out how we eliminate those and to make the game more balanced.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
That would have been my next move, is go, this seems good, generally play a game, but we're playing it as people who are like, not, a couple of times we're like, oh, we'll make this mistake, or oh, we'll do this. Next time I'd be like, right, what happens if I just play it all down one wall, right? If I start with one wall, does that completely break it all? And if it does, is there any way to fix that, or do we have to redesign the game, or where do we take it from there? Because it being a fun, especially when it comes down to this kind of rule set, very strict rule set, it being fun, which it was, is definitely the starting point. But now you got to see, does it hold up to competitive play? And it doesn't have to. Like Jayden said, you could replace that by going, you got 10 seconds to play, or if you play 2 of your own cards in a row, then you get orange juice thrown at you, or something. You make it into more of a party game, and that's still okay. But you have to then decide which way you want to take it, and whether you want to keep it, you want to keep that competitive spirit, or whether actually you're going to have to sacrifice that for the sake of balance in the game going forwards.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome.
I mean, mine's kind of obvious, but like I'd say get people who obviously haven't designed the game to play it. If you have people nearby, get those people to play it, and just see how often draws come up. Like it could be a massive coincidence that our first time was a draw, but at the same time, without sort of stress testing that, you just have no idea.
Very true.
For sure.
I remember once again going back to my time at university when we were making board games and stuff. It's surprising how often you make a game that just draws constantly. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh, that's sick. And actually, I just kind of wanted to move. We've got a couple of questions in the chat about sort of game jams or preparing for your first game jams. And actually, like me and Jayden, we've done countless game jams together. Me and Adam, we've done a few, and we did the game jam London Into Games Global Game Jam, and that was amazing as well. I think if I could just sort of ask a little bit about how to prepare for your first jam. Somebody in the chat asked, how much can you prep for any game jam before it starts? Does it change from jam to jam? I think there's only a finite amount of prepping that you can ever do before your theme is announced. But if you guys had any tips for preparing for your first jam, how to enter into your first game jam, what would they be? It's a bit of a loaded question.
No. I mean, so as you know, so I've done lots of game jams, run lots of game jams. I think the key is you kind of need to decide. A lot of people think with a game jam, your goal is to make a successful game and win the jam or whatever it might be. But actually, if you start with that mentality, you're putting yourself on the back foot. Really, what you want to think about as a jam is, I get this like dedicated time to come out of it with something. I've learned a skill. I've practiced being a producer or a writer or a game designer or whatever it might be, or whatever you kind of test you're trying to do. And so, really, for a game jam, you want to go into it going, what is it that I want to come out of this game jam saying? I've done this. And if you can find a team that will let you do that, if you can put yourself in a position, if you prepare yourself by learning about whatever role it is you want to do or the tools you might want to use, then you are in a good place going into that game jam to make the most of it. Because it's great, we've made a cool game here, but I've done lots of game jams that are 48 hours and I've not really had a game to show at the end of it. And so you want to go into it thinking, what do I want to gain from this experience? And as long as you've got that in mind, then you're going to be in a good place.
Yeah, of course. I think what we just did at the start of this was I said I'd be happy if we just had one little core loop or a starting thing. But yeah, if you come in with a goal for what you want to get out of your jam, that's a really good piece of advice. Jayden and Anna, do you have any tips for people going into their first jam?
I think the only sorry.
No, you go. I was going to suggest.
I think the only actual preparation you can do for a game jam is try to think of the tools you can use to very quickly iterate. Programming an entire game in a game jam might not be possible. So think is it a physical game? Is it card game? And try to figure out all the tools that have at disposal before going into the game jam. And then all you do there is just iterate on ideas.
Yeah. Awesome. Jayden, do you have anything that you would add? You've done so many.
I've done quite a few. Most of the ones that I've done have been global game jams. So, but I think someone in Twitch just said there is only so much prep that you can actually do. So I think knowing what tools you want to use, knowing what part you play in your team. If you're part of a team, you can do jams on your own. That's totally fine. And just sort of knowing your place in that is really important. But as Adam said, knowing what you want to get out of it at the end is great. No one expects you at the end of the game jam to have a perfect game that everyone's going to love. But I know there's been pretty much every global game jam I've done, I've gotten to the end and I've gone, man, I'd really love to work on this some more.
Yeah.
And it's always good to see people's responses as well. But I guess be prepared as well. If you're working in a team, especially, be prepared to have your ideas shot down, not in a personal way. No one's going to look at you and be like, that idea is terrible, you should stop doing this. But in just that's a bit overscoped. Maybe if we can find what's good about that idea, and maybe if we can shrink it down a little bit or something like that. That's game design in general, I guess.
Be
prepared for people to say no.
Yeah, definitely. And also like when you mentioned like overscoping as well, that's like the huge thing in game jams, right? Like you can't make the next, like, as much as I would have loved to make the next Elden Ring in that 30 minutes, you're not going to be able to in your sort of 48, 72 hour game jam. So just make sure that your ideas are really as pared down as possible. Think back on some really simple games that work very well and sort of try and match that. We had somebody saying, how do you find people to join online game jams with, and where's the best place to sign up to UK jams? And I feel like I've got an answer in mind, but especially like, well, I just feel like on itch.io it's got your list of all of the jams that you can join, which are global or by country or by category. You can sort that however you want, and it has, you've got about 50 game jams happening every week or every month probably, so you can always find something that matches up with your interests or anything like that. But finding people to join online game jams with is a bit more of a tricky one. I wonder if you guys have any.
From my perspective, easiest way to do that is to join communities. There's some great communities such as the Into Games community and the Game Dev London community, both full of people who are super excited about making games, who are really open and friendly and work together. Some communities will provide channels that will basically allow you to say, oh, I'm looking for a team, is anyone out there, etc. Some game jams, they'll run sessions at the beginning to help those who are without team members to find team members and form teams at the very beginning. But yeah, 100% join some communities, see what's going on, ask around. People especially in nice communities like ours, slightly biased, but there we are. You can just go in and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And even if they, they're not doing it right now, they may be able to point you in a direction and be like, well, I'm not, but I know this person was, or check out these people, they're looking for what you're doing, and yeah, maybe you can form it in that way.
Awesome. Just get stuck in, get involved, get asking questions and seeing where you can help. And yeah, definitely. People aren't as scary, especially in game dev. Like, nobody's going to bite your head off, and everybody's going to want your skills and your help and your experience to come in, even if it is your first one as well. So.
Yeah. And it's funny, nothing's more relaxing than being in a game jam and seeing everyone else around you like flapping and floundering and knowing that you're not.
Oh no, he cut out for a second.
Oh, I think we lost him.
No, I think he was saying knowing that you're not alone, and definitely, I think my favorite part of game jams is like walking around and just having like a 5-minute break and seeing what everybody else is up to. That's like if you're sort of feeling in a bit of creative slump, it's so nice to just have that break, get those creative juices flowing, and see what your fellow people are up to as well. Sorry, Jayden, I think you're back now.
Hi. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I was going to say, and I think someone asked just quickly. I know we're running short on time, but I think someone said like, what if their sort of discipline isn't really suited for game jams, or like what should they do? And someone said they can be a support act, be the shoulder to cry on. But yeah, I think every role has a place to play.
Yeah, I want to emphasize that really importantly. There is no role that I've ever come across that does not have a place in a game jam, because the game could be whatever you want. Environment art is absolutely, there are games that need that. There are games that can be designed with that in mind. You can spin games to be very environment art based. You can make a puzzle game that's based on environment art, or you can try your hand at a different skill. I'm a programmer, but I've tried to be a writer in some game jams. I've tried to be a producer in some game jams. There is no role that does not suit a game jam. So literally go in, say, this is what I'm doing and this is what I'm interested in, and you will find a team who will work with you to make a game that you absolutely have a valid part to play on. So every role is 100% going to be needed in a game jam somewhere.
100%.
And like we played games, we know like what feels fun, what doesn't. Like even if your particular skill doesn't apply in this particular game jam, you can still play test the game, give your ideas, give your opinions, and give the feedback, and that's how you influence like what the game is going to be at the end.
100%. Yeah, like the people who play your games, they're not, most of the time they're not going to be from the industry. They're not going to be a game designer. So, just being able to have that perspective and test that from that perspective is really useful as well. So that's amazing. Thank you. Yeah, I think that person said, as somebody who has no knowledge of game design, is there any place or role as an ideas person? I think, that's definitely your production roles. That's definitely your QA test roles. So that's awesome. That's perfect. Thank you so
voice
much.
actor, shouting things at a microphone, sound
Perfect.
designer, going break things.
You've got no excuse not to get involved.
Exactly. So yeah, I think that's we're kind of coming up to all we've got time for here. But thank you so much, and thank you so much for imparting all of your wisdom, you guys, on Game Jams. I cannot believe we actually managed to make something in half an hour. I didn't think it was actually going to happen. I wasn't going to like say, you know, like you guys are really anxious about this, but you know, it happened. So thank you so much for being here and giving us your excellent knowledge. Hopefully, you know, we can do more stuff like this in the future. What about like a 3-minute game jam or like a minute game
I'll see you later. Bye. I'm going.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Why stop there?
That's awesome. You guys, Adam and Anna, where can people find you if they would like to, very quickly?
If you want to find me, I'm on Twitter at AdamB1234, but you can also find me at Game Dev London, and then through there and all the things that we do from there.
Awesome.
Yeah, for me, mostly Game Dev London. I'm a host on Discord as well, so you can find me there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Jayden, you can find him in our community Discord and on Twitter as well, I think.
Yeah, I'm everywhere. I'm on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, everything. I think everything is on my Discord account. So
awesome.
If you want to stalk me, then go ahead.
Perfect. Thank you again so much, you guys, you Game Dev London people. It was a pleasure having you here. And I'm going to hand back over now. See you all later.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone, for watching this episode of the Game Dev London podcast. You can find out more about the Game Dev London podcast by going to gamedev.london. You can join us as well. Go there and go to gamedev.london/Discord to join our community of game developers, creators, audio people, and every kind of discipline across the board. Join in with our events, our workshops, and just generally get to meet people in the industry. Other than that, all I leave you to say is thank you for listening to this episode of the Game Dev London podcast, and we'll see you here same time next week. Goodbye.